I want us to revisit, and I'm going to take my time. I'm not going to rush through this because it needs a firm foundation to build upon. But the reason it needs to be understood better is because it should never be used as a weapon for discriminatory practices. There's somebody not holy enough. Now, if it's viewed that way, maybe you should revisit how you internalize it to create that reality in your world. Because I had to tell some people all the time, it's a difference in me being uppity and me having standards. Get you some. You can have some standards. I didn't get all of them. So I don't want it to be viewed as a weapon, because that was never God's intention. There are certain things that have become doctrine in modern Christianity that was never intended to be taught as doctrine. Faith was never intended to be taught as doctrine, because faith is a medium of exchange from one world to the next. That's your good stuff in your life, your bad stuff in your life. You spent something for that. Faith. Just like holiness. Holiness is a culture. It's a culture of a kingdom. It's how the citizens of this kingdom are to be identified. Of a kingdom. Now, when I started when we taught currency of the kingdom, I had to go back and look at what a kingdom is. I'm familiar with the democratic process. So I had to look at, for example, in our democratic process, our Constitution begins with, we the people. You're an educator, you can't let it go, huh? You off, baby. We the people. So in the Bible, though, being the Constitution of another kingdom, it begins with, in the beginning, God. That takes away how I feel about something. Now for me, I looked at it this way. This really, when it really hit me. And it may get a bit redundant to some of you all. But 2 years ago, I almost lost my father. I almost lost my father. I had to revisit some things. And it clicked for me. I think it was the power of words. And Pastor said, while he was dealing with cancer, now during this time, while he was dealing with cancer, after the doctors told him, you're going to die from this, you're not going to see the fork. He ended up performing like, I want to say 5, at least, though, at a minimum of 3 funerals of people who lost their fight to cancer. And what he said was, he did say this a couple times about everything that he told God that he was doing. But what he said was, I had to talk to this thing from a position of authority. Though that's something that you have to connect with after you've identified yourself as being a citizen of a country, a citizen of a kingdom. So, unfortunately, Christianity, for some, has become a religion with strict observance to laws. And the observance to the laws seem to have become more important than the reason or the purpose of those laws. Because it's about identifying with the kingdom. It's about authority. Pastor John told us last year, during crusade, that Adam never lost the church. Adam never lost the body of Christ. Jesus never preached any of those things. Jesus never preached crucifixion. Never. Adam lost authority. Jesus restored what Adam lost. You identifying as part of that body is more about God being able, because God won't violate his own rules. It's more about God being able to intervene in this realm, in the affairs of man. Example, segregation. A nation of people crying out. So God came through the church, right? Through a Baptist preacher, a member of the body of Christ, to rectify that issue. It's about kingdom, though. So even in 1 Peter 2:9, it says, we are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, holy nation. It said, look, I like this out of ESV. It says, but you are a chosen race, human race. One of the rappers, one of the gospel rappers, I will say his name, but he's a gospel rapper, so you all may not know him. No, I'm just playing. One of the rappers, though, that I listen to, Lecrae, one line Lecrae said, Sunday is the most segregated day in America. You are a chosen race, right? Traditional says people, generation. Royal, though, is the first description. It would do us well, and we'll get to it, not today. It would do us well, though, to understand what is involved in a monarchy. So seeing that Christianity has morphed or has evolved into a religion, because again, we've gotten away from the purpose of the observance of the laws. Let's look at a definition for what religion is. Religion is defined as the adherence to a set of beliefs that regulate the moral behavior of an individual, that regulate the social behavior of an individual, that regulates the ritualistic behavior of an individual. Church has become a ritual. Bible study hasn't. Wednesdays, Friday morning, Tuesday, Friday evening. Sunday morning, though, for a lot of people, become a ritual. So ultimately what this really boils down to is religion versus God's kingdom. Because it's about getting your needs met. My Father, my King. One thing I know of a kingdom is the welfare of the people, right? The reputation of the king has a lot to do with how well his people fare. So that's why it's not about me having more money than anybody in my family, because I go to the Holy Church. But If me and my whole family at the hospital because granddad is sick, I can take control of the situation and bring the kingdom on the scene. That's what it's about. It's about knowing who you are and knowing what you are entitled to. Because it's a kingdom. Let's look